Assalamu alaikum, dear listeners. Today's topic will be on knowing oneself. In order to explain this topic, I will use an analogy. I will symbolize the human body as a house. In this house, there's a family living consisting of children of 2 years old, 16 years old, and then the parents. In this house, there are some occurrences happening which sometimes are desirable, other times undesirable. The 2 years old kids are not serious about it. They don't care what is happening. The 16 years old, they are thinking about it, they are worried, but they don't know how to find out about who's causing it. Parents, however, are serious and they want to find out, and they even want to contact the police. The nature of things happening are, for example, one day they find out the unwashed dishes in the kitchen were washed, cleansed. Other times they find dishes thrown apart into pieces. So this analogy, when applied to our body, to our life, would be like we observe the body performing different actions. Like, for example, our tongue saying good words at one time and very swear words, bad words, backbiting, etc. other times. Our hand performing good actions such as writing an essay or helping somebody. Other times, the same hand, for example, slapping someone or, God forbid, stealing something. Similar examples about our feet and the entire body, and same examples about our intellectuality, one time used to our own benefit and to the benefit of our other fellow human beings. For example, we are a nurse, we are a teacher, so our intellectuality is used properly. Other times our intellectuality is misused, such as, let's say, in military or in the medical field, misused sometimes. And, writing books such as anti-religion, anti-God, and building weapons, weapons of mass destruction, atomic bombs, etc. So, similar to the house, in our body, it seems that there must be some agents within our body, some forces within our bodies that use our physical body, our mind, our hands, our organs, our feet, etc. one time in a very good direction, other time in a negative direction. When it comes to our own bodies and mind and hands, for example, we unfortunately behave like those 2 years old kids who did not care about what was happening in the house. A small number of humans, like those kids of 16 years old, are paying attention to the human behavior, but they resort to subjects like psychology, sociology, anthropology, etc. And they come up with rules and laws, civil laws, to control the human behavior. A very small minority, like those parents who were serious about what was happening to the house and even wanted to contact police and other security officers, are serious and want to know why we, as intelligent creatures that we are, one time we say very good words, we teach, let's say, religion, Quran Kareem, teach school subjects to other people, but other times the same tongue is used in vague talk, in backbiting, in swearing, and using very destructive languages that not only harm others but harm our own selves. So here, in a preliminary stage of knowing oneself, I am using this analogy that similar to knowing and being sure that within our house there must have been someone washing the dishes. Maybe someone was coming while we were away from home or while we were sleeping, and the other guys who were throwing the dishes apart and replacing TV somewhere else and putting our money from one place to another place, causing so much stress in our home. That must also have been done by someone. Even the little kids, 2 years old kids, know that someone is doing it. But when it comes to our own human behavior, our own physical body being used properly one time and improperly used another time, we are not searching as to who is causing it, who the causing factors are, who the agents are that are utilizing us in good way and bad way. In other words, we are not searching about what software are being used from within ourselves that control the hardware of our body, of our eyes, for example, looking at something properly from a viewpoint of good way. For example, we are looking at a tree and we are pondering how God made this tree, and looking at the thing from a proper way. For example, we are looking at the city and we are thinking about how to help the city, or looking at our house or at somebody's house from the viewpoint of how to improve the structure of the house. These are good ways of looking at it. But other times we look at things from a very jealousy view, enviously and destructively. So as we can see, our eyes, our mind, heart, fingers, every cognitive and physical part in our being is being used properly, nicely, and in a way that suits the human quality and the human status. And other times they are being used in a way that even not the so-called wild animals use their body and mind in such a destructive way. So let us find out about who behind this physical body, this physiological body, is working to make us a very good person at one time, a bad person, or even an evil person at another time. One time the human being behaves better than an angel. Another time, sorry, but the human behaves worse than the worst animal on the planet. We are not finger pointing at one person, but what we are looking at is that the same mechanism that make that person better than the angel, that mechanism must exist within me, within you. And by the same token, the same mechanism that caused the other person behave worse than the worst animal must exist within me too, because I'm also human. That's what makes a human being. A human being is a box, or I give the example of a house. Within the house, there are two people, one very good, like an angel, the other one very bad, very destructive, living in the same house. But within our human body, they are invisible. They become visible if we try to understand it. And the more serious you become about it, the more visible they become to us. And that's how we explore ourselves, how we find out who we are, what we are, without knowing what is causing our body, our mind to be operated in one way one time and another way another time. We do not know ourselves. There is nothing worse than not knowing oneself, because knowing oneself is tied with knowing God. Without knowing oneself, one does not know God. Without knowing God, it means that we are not grateful to the one who is showering us 24/7 with uncountable favors and good things. We will talk next time about knowing God. Thanks for listening. Have a good night.